Questar. The jewel. The Questar. Oh, wow. It's a field model. Oh, can't believe a Questar. Oh, the lead is completely aligned. Let me just remove the packaging. Questar. That's the one. Get it for a good cause, so it will be used for outreach. That's the Barlow on the way. That's the focus now. To the end. 10 turn to the from the end will reach the infinity for the focus. Oh. The Duke. Just bring it out. Oh, so elegant. This is inside it is felt. It's a field model. Oh, that's a broadband version. Oh, clean. Immaculate. Let me shine the flash inside it. Immaculate and clean. The flash shows any problem if there was. I don't see anything. Yeah, can't take really scratch. Now put the cap, which is twisty, back on the tube, and it just stayed horizontal like that. The writing of the Questar. It's beautiful. Okay, let's open this one and see what is inside here. Oh, this is really broken, but that's the front lens diaphragm. Should have been put in a cardboard, but anyway. If we're safely here. Open all of them one by one. See what they are. Lens cap. This must be eyepiece. And further. So let me just open all of this. So I'm going to open all of this one by one. Okay, the first item is this right angle correct image eyepiece. Image corrector, erector. So good. Now to check this. Okay, this is the Brandon eyepiece. This is the eyepiece. This side is the side that you have to look, eyesight, and that's the side that goes to the telescope. And this is the eye guard. I think there is a piece on top of this, should be here, but I will find it. At the moment, this is here. And that is, they are not a standard eyepieces. That just can be used only with the Questar. If you want a standard, you have to use a adapter for that. This is Brandon 25mm, 24mm. Okay, this one. What is this one? Oh, that's for the eyepiece. That goes with the eyepiece. Looks like different adapters probably can be used for photography. Okay, now I've installed the dovetail, attached it with a screw that I had to the finder viewer part or stand, whatever it is. I loosened the brake here so I can turn the tube. That's the really fascinating feature of this telescope. And now I've tipped the Barlow away, put the eyepiece on the way. That's the mirror which brings the eyepiece into the train. And I'm not trying to look at those foots there. And let's see how it looks. Just before that, I just must say, it's a very cloudy day, it's completely dark, it's not really anywhere near the night, but it's really dark, so the image I don't expect to be any bright, but we will see now. So that's the Questar Brandon 24mm eyepiece. I've not attached any other thing to it, so let's go and see how it looks like. I'll turn off the flash. Brandon eyepiece has a 54 or 52 degrees. I'll focus on the fruit, so the leaves are not exactly under focus, but the wind of course changes the positions. So that was the view through the Questar. If you ask me which one I prefer, I have Celestron Mac C90. I have the Mead ETX90, and I think that mechanically this is built better, it's smoother, it's easier to operate with it. Those ones are good, but for example the focuser in this one is really easy. It's far more better anything that I've seen with those ones. And is the ease of having actually a Barlow here, that really is nice. Also the finder, really nice. Mechanically I think this is, you cannot fault this. Brandon eyepiece is good, but I see some reflections and some I have to try to clean it first and see how it is. At the moment it just looks to me like a plus hole. It's just not much different unless I test it with the on the moon or some constellations and planets. Now I can tell you, this Brando reminds me of the tall 25mm pulsars, the Russian tall. The Russian tall is actually better than this. If you, unfortunately, it doesn't accept the 1 1/4 eyepieces, so I have to get a adapter for that. I may not get it. Questar is expensive. Okay, I mean, just have a. This is a brief review, just unboxing and just showing you how it is, the view through it. And I will do a thorough review of this later and compare it with the other items, other Maksutovs. Funny enough, Ronald Reagan gave it as a gift, one of these telescopes, to Mikhail Gorbachev of the Russia, Soviet Union. This is a Soviet design Maksutov, and the Americans made it, and just it's ridiculous in a way. They just want to say that we have marketed your idea. Oh, it was a way to tell that your friend, I don't know, has stolen your idea and just be friend with us. That's strange. But anyway, that's the way of the world. When both these levels are out of the way, practically we are looking through the viewfinder, which is very wide angle, and you can focus by turning this, and this is the view. This is the view through a viewfinder, practically like a very wide puzzle. It feels very wide. Magnification is probably lowest, around 44 or 6. Yeah, magnification probably around 4 or 6. Nice, actually. It's very bright, although the environment is not that bright. It's dark, quite cloudy and dark. And that's the view through the viewfinder. Practically I'm looking through here, through this tiny mirror. So focusing only is done by the turning of this eyepiece itself. This mirror, the Maksutov mirror, is out of the way, curved mirror. As you know, Questar, all the Questars, and in this field model one of them, they don't accept 1 1/4 inch eyepieces. The eyepieces of them is actually screwed ones, so you have to screw it into the base. So I tried to get an adapter for that, and that adapter I will now be doing unboxing of it. In that way I will be able to use such an eyepiece like this TeleVue 24mm panoptic, excellent eyepiece, and even some of the larger eyepieces like eyepiece. Let's unbox this. So now I have opened the package. Let's see what is inside. It's called Questar adapter. It was made by TeleVue Visionary, TeleVue company, and that is AQE0005 number of the part. So let's see what is inside. Let's put this packaging away. So Let's see what is inside the box. Such a simple part, and it seems that many people actually need this, and no more manufacturers like the Chinese one built this one yet. So I think there's a market. If they have sold around 10,000, 20,000 of this, definitely people need the adapter for that. So that's the pusher that the Teleview builds. Installation I use: Questar eyepiece adapter AQE 0005. So you have to unscrew the stock thread Questar eyepiece adapter and place it with the Teleview adapter. So let's bring this adapter out and look how it is. Oh, okay. You can see it's such a tiny part, and it has one screw. I felt that it needs 2 screws, but there is a space for 2, but it just gives you 1. Let's see. What I think happened was that Al Nagler has a Questar himself. He wanted, it's made of aluminum by the way, and he wanted to use his own eyepieces with this Questar, and he couldn't. So he built one. He ordered one to be built for him. Then he thought, oh, that's something probably, and many people need this. And he ordered it also to be mass produced for selling. So, nice thing to have. The screw should have been actually at the stopper, so it will not come out. So this has came out now. And the plug is a little bit stiff. Let me use both hands to take it out. And the design is not the best. I preferred it had a ring, compressor ring here. This will scratch your eyepiece. Or putting a nylon plastic adapter. But anyway, this is what we have, so we have to use it. So let me bring the Questar and see how we can do. Just take a few photographs of it. So this is the Questar eyepiece holder. The eyepiece is from here, from the black side to the top. But the eyepiece holder is this one that I'm unscrewing, and it's coming out. It came out, and the eyepiece, Brandon eyepiece, which I believe is just nothing more than a something like a puzzle. Chinese puzzle is better than this. No, I'm using this Teleview to screw it here, and with just this simple modification I can now use a panoptic. Simple as that. We have now a panoptic on the Questar. And I can put a, let me see if I can put the ethos here. So panoptic 24mm easily goes there. Now let's see if the ethos can stay there. That's much bigger eyepiece. Teleview ethos 13mm. Let's just see if I can put it there. Okay, now we are going to see the history being made. Oh yes. Oh yeah. And this Dobsonian mount is strong enough to hold it in its place. That's a big improvement. Now we have the Ethos 13 on the Questar. Amazing. Let's see how it looks. It's quite windy, and that causes the parts which are not in focus just come to the field of view. Thomas said the view is very sharp when it is in focus. And that was the view through the TeleView eyepiece, 13mm eyepiece. I have now the TeleView Panoptic 24mm, and let's see how the view is through that. Yeah, really transformed the view. 30% more field of view than the Brandon 24mm. Although both of them are 24mm. I will use the Brandon now, just compare. Okay, that was the view through the TeleView Panoptic 24mm. Now we are back to the Brandon 24mm, and let's see how the view looks like. I must say the Brandon is very finicky, the field of view is narrow, the image is not very contrasty. I'll put the Panoptic immediately just to show you how it is. We are looking through the Panoptic 24mm. It's very windy and it's not very bright day, so the contrast in none of them was as good as I could see visually, but the camera is the problem, not the eyepiece. So that's beautiful, lovely result. So this is the Celestron C19 Maksutov, and this is another Maksutov Questar. They're very similar. This is 89mm, this is 90mm. I mean the aperture size of the mirror. Both of them are in the Skywatcher Heritage 100p Dobsonian stand, because you can actually, like anything, attach anything that which has a dovetail and this and adjust it. You can move it up and down, turn it around. It's really good, versatile, and really enjoy this too. The image quality, I'm very happy with this one. I've not tested really extensively on the planets, especially. It has been cloud as usual. When you get to new stuff, so clouds will come. But I can say that both of them are good, and I think this. I've heard already that they can be out of collimation. I feel it's slightly out of collimation, not much. This is perfect. I could see many details on the Mars, and you just have to let them for sometimes cool down in the temperature, ambient temperature of the surrounding your observation place, and then that will be perfect for your work. Oh, let me bring the Mead ETX 90. Let's just see how it looks. Compare it with these two. Okay, I have now the Questar, the C19 Celestron, and the Mead ETX. Mead ETX is very similar to the field model in the color, at least of the tube, but the function and the usability of it is like a Questar. And even it has, I have 3 tripods for this that you can actually adjust, and it's a duplex because I bought this separate from the tube. The tube I bought it separate, and I bought this stand for it and installed it on it. This is the first series of the Questars, because you can actually move it by this declination and these knobs in the declination and right ascension, or practically alt azimuth at this stage. But when you put a tripod, you can just, it will become equatorial, and it's really nice. You can use it also automatic, of course. It has a battery, you can follow. And this is 390 millimeter, except this one, which is 89 millimeter, 1 millimeter less. And Maksutov telescopes. All of them are excellent. I think if I want to recommend anything for this, I would say get a Celestron and get a Skywatcher cheap one. Use the Dobsonian mount of it, or any tripod mount that you have. This one is a good value if you can find it, but they're usually £300, so you can get it. That one is quite expensive. Even the cheapest field model, if you just get it, it's nothing less than £500 if you're lucky. It's more usually around £1,000, or with all the equipment that this one comes with. If you get that one, that's around 2,000, 2,500, 3,000. New, around 4,000 or 500, £5,000. Yeah. So now we have 3 Maksutov telescopes here. Which one I use more? I didn't have the chance much to use that Questar, but I'm using it because it's a finder scope of it. It's beautiful. I can just change between the finder and the main eyepiece, and then I can just borrow it by this, and really versatile. I can turn it around, so adjusting for my position of the eye. This can be rotating. It rotates. This whole thing rotates. In this one, there's a fixed. This one also is fixed, so the versatility is not there. So, value for money, excellent. If you don't, if you want to stand for it and you don't want to buy a Dobsonian mount, this is good if you can find it. Second hand, there are always, but they're not very cheap because people know the value of them. This is just something that you are lucky if you find such a thing. And the thing about these things is that I talked with the people, experts from Questar, and they told me that these telescopes, because they are old now, many of the new ones, people cannot afford the new ones, or unless they're very rich. Like us people, working class people who buy these things, they're usually scavenged. That means they've used the different parts, the attached parts and removed parts. So serial number of this, they told me, for example, it doesn't relate to this. This is broadband, but the serial number is for something else. So it's for a standard model. And it has a dew shield. I like that dew shield. For the dew shield was actually falling back when you go too near the horizon. So what I did, I put a elastic band here, so you can just slide it there and it stops the dew shield to move when this is heading up. If I do it like that, the dew shield falls. So when I rise it, I just move it there. This very cheap solution. And I owe this to somebody who is a dentist. So we owe this to somebody who is a dentist. And you can just bring it down and your thing will also come down. And whenever if it breaks or anything feeling cold, you just change that elastic band. Yeah, it returned back to the normal position. Now I have removed the lens caps and you can see the comparison. What is inside? This is the Questar. What is inside the Celestron C90 Mac? And what is inside Mi DTX 90? I feel the coating here is actually more effective. Practically the coating of the ATX and the Celestron are better than the coating of this. This must be really old. Probably doesn't have much coating left. It has been rubbed so much. I think the coating of the ATX is better. In that sense, you see inside of it is quite dark. You cannot see that full tube, central obstructing light path. So you have three Maksutovs, three different styles, but all in the usable. I like the cap of this, quite heavy metal actually. I like this more because it's very light. The whole telescope in here is very light. And this is the least light one. It was flimsy, it was falling. The telescope itself is superb, but the lid, the cap was falling. So I had to add some of this tape, which is the best friend of the DIY users, duct tape. And duct tape made it fit. So it is easier to use it, but it brings eye comfort when you don't need to poke the eyepiece as if into your eye to get too close to it. So this is a good eyepiece. It's quite chunky and heavy. Also, this is the actual diagonal, erect image diagonal. The good thing is that you can use this telescope for viewing the terrestrial subjects, birds and buildings and faraway things, and studying this, things in this sky or the earth, and the image will be upright. Now I'm now going to assemble this and just show you the final assembly. Okay, I've now assembled the mount and the eyepiece and the diagonal, and I must say I'm really impressed with the sturdiness and the chunkiness of this and the ease of movement of it. I had seen at the other telescopes, Maksutov and other things. I tested them in the shop and I was trying to across the ideal telescope, and I found that this one was really best in the way of being chunky and at the same time ability to manage it without much effort in the dark and carrying it. So now the spotter scope, I have to put it. I will do it now. Okay, I must say that I'm really impressed with the ease of assembly of this. It just took me less than 5 minutes to assemble all this. Now the spotting scope has gone into here. It's a simple dovetail assembly. You just loosen up this screw and then slide the spotting scope. And it has also this bracket at the bottom, which can go to the mount. I will show you the mount later. I have a mount for this proper mount, and I'm really impressed with the quality of this. I can't hold it in my. You cannot say with many telescopes that, but I can hold this 90mm main mirror telescope in one hand, easy. Okay, after many weeks of not seeing the moon because it was so cloudy, now we can see the moon. And I am now in this moonlight testing the Skywatcher, Celestron C90 Mac and the Questar Field version. I exchanged these two eyepieces between them repeatedly, 24mm panoptic and again 24mm to 8mm Olive zoom. I changed them, and what I found, my observations, is that this telescope has a lot of light scatter, in a way, halo around the moon. This doesn't have that much. What is that in this one, a little bit the image is sharper. This one is sharp, but slightly less sharp than this one. It can be one reason, because I first had it out and climatized for around 1 hour. This was just done now. So I wonder if I just let this climatize again, that will catch up with that. At the moment, both of them are very good. This is slightly sharper. I've tested them on several features on the moon, and I can say that they're very close. Questar has a lot of halo and light scatter around it, but the image is slightly sharper, a tad sharper, not much. But the contrast, this one is better. The C90, Celestron C90 new version, Chinese one. I think the main reason for difference and the light scatter in this one is that practically it doesn't have any coating on the meniscus. This one has a very good coating and modern coating. This I bought it from new. This is second hand, and when I talked with the Questar, they told me that the serial number doesn't match with the description. So, well, it was sold to me as a broadband, but the serial number is for a field version. Pyrex, no broadband. So that's all. I have a suspicion that this is a very old one. Nothing is original. It's just scavenged from the other telescopes, and there is no coating. It must be very old, at least 40 years old. But the serial number says that this was built around 1977. Okay, both of them now have cooled down. I'm using 24 panoptic and Nirvana 16 on this, and I can see now that they have acclimatized well. Both of them probably are don't have much convection inside the tube of the telescope, and this one is sharper now than this one. This one has a lot of shadow, kind of washed out, as if it has fog, as if it doesn't fog. It has light scattered. It doesn't have any fog or any blemish on the lens or corrector or eyepiece or mirror or anything. But the image in this one is now sharper after thermal equilibrium. I think it's because of the newer coating on this. This one probably doesn't have any coating at all. This one has a fresh coating on the corrector, and that's the difference between these two now. And observing the Alpine Valley now, I can see Alpine Valley in the part of it is out of the shadow at the Terminator. You can see the mountains of the Taurus Mountains, Caucasian Mountains, sorry. Caucasian and Taurus Mountains, yeah, I can see them. And what I can say is that the convenience of using a Barlow, the position of the focuser, the ability to use the finder by just a level. You're going to finder, now it goes to the eyepiece or diagonal. With this one you don't have that luxury, but the image in this one is better. It has a fresh new coating. This one doesn't have the coating probably at all. Probably if you buy a new one of this, it will be equal or slightly sharper. That's for someone who has both. I don't. So this is a new Celestron C90 and this is the Questar Field version 1977 or something around that time. Oh, books. Let's see what is inside. Questar instruction book number 2. Questar instruction book number 1. Oh, I have that Questar telescope now. I have the instruction for it. Oh, this is a standard version. I have the field version, which is exactly like that, but it is cheaper. And it doesn't have the base, but you can put it on. I'll put it in a Dobsonian mount. I will show you. Oh, that's the field model. Oh, no, yeah, that's the field model. Yeah, field model. That's the one I have. It doesn't have those star map on it. Yeah, field model. Exactly the same, except that it doesn't have the maps on the body of it. You can buy a duplex mount and put it on that duplex, but I don't need it. I found that the Dobsonian mount is better, and I have a Skywatcher 100 and 110, and I use the Dobsonian mount of that for this purpose. Really versatile, better than this. This probably costs you £1,000 just that. Oh, okay, I'm going through all this book now. Should I save a few pages? Yeah, that was the book number 1. Now we have the book number 2, Questar and the camera. I've never seen that they have 2 books for this. Didn't know that. So how you attach your camera. That's for the field model. They'd send it by this in this bag case. But the case, the foam of it, if it is old, it's already rotten and damages the optics. So it's better don't have it. Get a case of your own, £10, £20, whatever. And that's for the close distance. I have that ring also. And the camera, how you attach it. I have all these attachments also. And how you can do more than that. There's a guider tracker. And of course I have now changed the eyepiece holder to teleview adapter, so it can take 1 1/4 inch eyepieces. And yeah, nice. There is a model of it also which has this Questar air reflex for taking videos, I mean films. And here also. This is just collector's item. You don't need these things. Your mobile phone is doing all of that, and a little camera will do all of this. So we have two booklets. I never knew that there is two booklets. I always thought there is one. The one that I used to see was orange. Questar instruction books. My video practically makes it for you as if you own this, because you just can go through it and see what. If you stop the video, probably you can read it. I don't know. I hope. I mean, these are old things, old publications. Maybe they're available as PDF even online. Who knows? Okay, that's the way my Questar looks, and these are the booklets. Instruction book 1 and book 2, as you can see. Let me show the Dobsonian mount that I was talking about. Okay, this is the Questar telescope, and this is a Dobsonian mount of the Skywatcher Heritage Virtuoso. Is it Virtuoso? Yeah. Anyway, this is the 4-inch one, and yeah, I've used a tiny dovetail bar which came with a telescope and is attached here to the finder area. Of course, this tube can turn now. The finder is not there. As you can see, that orange dot is the finder. And the telescope is on this, and it's very stable, and it can turn. I can just, turn it up and down. Of course, I can loosen it up, and really better than the I mean, any other mount. You can install it, tripod or something. You can use it inside the home on a table or anything you like. It will not track, but for tracking, you can use the Virtuoso Skywatcher Heritage Virtuoso one. That is 4.5-inch mount, which has the tracking thing and decoding system. You can use that one, but this is enough for my needs. And this teleview, lovely teleview adapter, so I can use now 1.5-inch, 1.25-inch eyepieces on this, including, surprise, surprise, Ethers 13mm or APM 13mm, and all the Myriad, the Skywatcher Myriad 3.5 to 9mm, and I can use all the Pentax eyepieces if they're not 2-inch. I can use an adapter here for 2-inch, but that will not give me any advantage. And that's it. That's perfect for all the uses that I want. And let me show you my Celestron C90 Mac. Compare it with this one.